Castor oil mixed with garlic. This is what happens after 7 days of use. Barbara O'Neill. Have you ever woken up and wondered, is this just how it feels to get older? The stiffness in your knees, the ache in your back, the heaviness in your chest that just won't go away. Maybe it's become your new normal. And maybe, like so many others, you've quietly accepted it, thinking this is just what aging looks like. But what if it doesn't have to be? If you've tried pill after pill, appointment after appointment, and still feel like your body is quietly begging for something gentler, something real, then stay with me. Because today I want to share a remedy that's not flashy or expensive, but powerful in its simplicity. It's been trusted for generations, tucked away in kitchens and whispered between grandmothers and neighbors. This story isn't just about castor oil and garlic, it's about hope, about remembering that your body still knows how to heal, and that with just a little care and consistency, you might begin to feel something you thought you lost a long time ago, relief. Let's begin. Let's begin with castor oil. You may have seen it before, thick, golden, sitting quietly in an old glass bottle on a forgotten shelf. It doesn't look like much, but don't let its humble appearance fool you. This oil has been used for centuries, passed down through hands that believed in healing that came not from a pharmacy, but from the earth. What makes castor oil so powerful isn't just what it does, it's how it does it. Unlike most oils that stay on the surface, castor oil goes deep. When you apply it to the skin, it seeps in, reaching the tissues where inflammation hides, where tension lives, where pain settles and lingers. And once it's there, something gentle begins to happen. The area softens. The tightness starts to let go. It's as if your body takes a breath and says, "Thank you." For centuries, people have turned to castor oil to ease swelling, soothe pain, relieve constipation, and even help with scar tissue. And it works. Not like a lightning bolt, but like a slow sunrise. I've used it on my wrists, my knees, and my lower back. The kind of places that whisper aches at night, the ones you quietly adjust for without even noticing. With a little consistency, I began to feel real change, less stiffness, fewer aches, better sleep. And perhaps just as important, no side effects, no prescriptions, no risk of dependency, just a natural remedy your body knows how to receive. It's comforting in a way modern medicine rarely is. You're not fighting your body, you're supporting it. You may be wondering how something so simple can be so effective, but sometimes that's exactly where healing lives. In the quiet things, in the ancient things, in the small routines you do with your own hands, in your own home, without needing anyone's permission. And if you're someone who's spent years chasing answers, I want to tell you this: it doesn't have to be complicated to be real. Castor oil works slowly but surely. It's not a miracle overnight, but a steady companion in your healing journey. The warmth it brings isn't just physical, it's emotional. It reminds you that comfort is still possible, that something inside you still works, that your body hasn't given up. And yet, as powerful as castor oil is, something extraordinary happens when it meets a partner that's just as ancient, just as fierce, and just as full of healing fire: garlic. That's where this story really begins to unfold. If castor oil is the quiet strength in this story, garlic is the fire. Bold, unmistakable, and full of life, garlic has been more than just a kitchen staple for thousands of years. It's been a healer, a protector, and a natural shield against illness, long before science caught up to explain why. Most people know garlic as something you cook with. It adds flavor, depth, that unmistakable aroma that fills a room. But garlic's true magic lies beneath its strong scent and pungent taste. This humble bulb is one of the most powerful natural antibiotics we have, proven not just by tradition, but by modern research. Studies show that garlic can be up to 6 times more effective than some commonly used prescription antibiotics. 6 times. That's not folklore. That's fact. Why is garlic so effective? Because it knows how to fight. It attacks bacteria. It slows down viruses. It eases inflammation, strengthens your immune system, and supports your body from the inside out. And here's the beautiful part. When applied properly to the skin, garlic doesn't just stay on the surface. It works its way into the bloodstream, sending its healing properties exactly where they're needed most. I've seen this firsthand. A friend of mine, let's call her Karen, used to suffer from chronic sinus infections year after year. Medications helped, but only temporarily. Then one winter, she tried a simple garlic compress, applied gently to her sinuses each night. Within days, her breathing cleared. Within a week, she stopped needing her decongestants altogether. Another friend, Mark, had chest congestion so bad it kept him up every night. His coughing would wake him, leave him exhausted in the morning. I told him about garlic oil, and he began applying it with a little warmth over his chest before bed. The first night, he slept straight through. By the third, he said he felt like he could finally take a deep breath again. Now, maybe you're thinking, I can't handle raw garlic, it's too strong. And that's okay. You don't have to chew a clove or swallow something bitter. There are gentle, effective ways to use garlic, grated into warm soup, mixed with a bit of olive oil on toast, or, as you'll soon see, blended with castor oil for a powerful skin application that doesn't sting. Garlic has a kind of wisdom to it. It seems to find what's wrong in the body and go straight to work. And when it's paired with castor oil, something remarkable happens. These two ingredients, each powerful on their own, become something more, something that reaches deeper, heals faster, and speaks to your body in a language it still remembers. And now that you know what castor oil and garlic can do separately, let's bring them together. Because the real magic begins when we show you how to create this healing blend at home with your own hands, safely, simply, and effectively. Now that you've felt the quiet strength of castor oil and the fiery healing of garlic, let's talk about what happens when you bring them together. Because this isn't just theory. This is something you can do tonight in your own home using ingredients you likely already have in your kitchen. And sometimes the simplest acts done with care can bring the most profound relief. To start, you'll need a clean piece of soft cotton cloth. An old t-shirt cut into squares works perfectly. So does flannel or a thin washcloth. This cloth is going to be your compress, the gentle carrier of everything your body is about to receive. Lay it flat on a piece of parchment paper or plastic wrap. This step is important. It keeps the oil from soaking into your clothes or bedding and helps you stay comfortable while the blend goes to work. Now, take your castor oil. You don't need much, just about 1 teaspoon. It's thick and slow-moving, like honey. Let it settle in the center of the cloth, creating a small golden pool. Then, take a fresh garlic clove. Grate it finely using a small kitchen grater or garlic press. You only need about half a clove. The idea here isn't to overwhelm, it's to gently awaken the healing within. Mix the grated garlic right into the castor oil on the cloth. Let it sit for a moment, allowing the two ingredients to begin their quiet conversation. You'll notice a subtle warmth, a merging of scent and strength. That's your cue. It's ready. Now, place the compress directly on the area you want to treat. Maybe it's your aching knee, your stiff wrist, your lower back, or your chest if you're dealing with congestion. Make sure the oil side touches your skin, and then gently wrap the area with a towel, a piece of gauze, or even a long sock with the toe cut off, whatever keeps the compress snug without being tight. Leave it on for at least 1 hour. If you can, wear it overnight. Just be sure to protect your sheets with an old towel or extra layer of clothing. The longer it stays on, the deeper it works. And if you want to boost the effect, place a heating pad or hot water bottle over the area. The gentle heat helps the oil and garlic penetrate further and brings a soothing, almost spa-like warmth to the process. When you're done, fold the cloth and store it in a plastic bag. You can reuse it for several days. Just add a bit more fresh oil and garlic each time. It's a ritual, a small act of self-care that says, I'm not giving up. I still believe in healing. No pills, no waiting rooms, no insurance codes. Just you, your body, and 2 ingredients that have been healing pain for centuries. And once you've tried it, once you've felt what it can do, you may find yourself wondering, like I did, why didn't I try this sooner? And that brings me to what happened when I used this blend for just 7 days. What I felt, what changed, and why I'll never go back. I didn't expect a miracle. After all the creams, pills, and routines I had tried over the years, I had learned to temper my hope. Like so many others, I had settled into a quiet kind of acceptance. That familiar ache in my wrist, the dull pain that woke me up when I tried to roll over in bed, the stiffness that made small tasks feel bigger than they should. I told myself, this is just what getting older feels like. But deep down, I was still searching, still wishing for something that would bring even a little relief, something that felt real. So I gave this blend a try. 1 teaspoon of castor oil, half a clove of fresh garlic, a soft cotton cloth. I followed the steps I'd shared with others. I wrapped the compress gently around my wrist, the one that had been bothering me for years. That night, I didn't expect much. I just rested and hoped. The next morning, something was different. The pain hadn't disappeared, but there was a calm where there had been tension, a warmth, almost like my wrist had taken a deep breath. I didn't need to shake my hand to get it moving. I poured the morning kettle without wincing. It was small, but noticeable, and for the first time in a long while, I felt like something inside me had shifted. By the 3rd night, the change became more real. I was sleeping better. The deep, nagging throb began to melt away. I could grip things more easily, turn doorknobs without hesitation. I started to move more freely, almost forgetting that pain had once lived there. And when I woke up on the 7th day, something happened that truly surprised me. I had slept through the night. No pain, no readjusting, no waking up to fix the wrap. Just sleep. Deep, healing sleep. I looked down at my wrist that morning and smiled. The swelling was gone. The tenderness had faded. It didn't feel miraculous. It felt natural. Like my body had finally been given the space and the support it needed to do what it always wanted to do: heal. Encouraged, I started using the same compress on my knees, those old joints that ached with the change of seasons, that made standing up from a chair a slow, careful task. After a week, I noticed the difference. I was moving faster, walking farther. I didn't feel like I was bracing myself every time I stood up. It was subtle, but powerful. A sense of ease I hadn't felt in years, and I wasn't alone. I shared the blend with a dear friend, Louise, a retired teacher who had spent decades on her feet. She'd carried lower back pain for years, the kind that made even a short walk around the house feel like a chore. 2 weeks in, she called me in tears, not from pain, but from joy. I forgot what it felt like to move without guarding every step, she said. Another friend, a former postal worker in his 70s, used it on an old ankle injury. After 10 days, he started walking again. No brace, no limp, no fear of falling. This blend isn't magic. It won't turn back time. But what it does, gently, quietly, consistently, is give your body a chance to feel good again, to move with a little more freedom, to wake up without dreading the first steps of the day. It reminded me, and everyone I've shared it with, that healing is still possible. That even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your body is still listening, still responding, still hoping you'll give it one more chance. After experiencing what this simple blend of castor oil and garlic could do for my own body, and seeing it transform the daily lives of people I care about, I began to wonder, how far could this really go? I started digging deeper, listening to more stories, reading more studies, and what I found was nothing short of extraordinary. This remedy doesn't just help with one or two nagging issues, it reaches across the spectrum of common health challenges, especially the ones that quietly chip away at our comfort, mobility, and confidence as we age. Let's start with arthritis. If you live with it, you know how it creeps into your joints, your hands, your knees, your hips. It's not always sharp pain. Sometimes it's just the dull, stubborn ache that makes tying your shoes or holding a pen feel like a chore. One woman in her late 70s told me she thought she'd have to give up knitting, something she'd done for over 60 years. But after 2 weeks of applying this blend daily to her knuckles, she was back at it, making scarves for her grandkids. The anti-inflammatory power of castor oil paired with garlic's immune calming properties makes this combination a soothing balm for swollen, aching joints. Next, let's talk about bone spurs. These little bony growths form over time, often in the heels, shoulders, or spine, anywhere the body feels prolonged pressure or stress. They can make every step feel like walking on nails. I had one on my heel years ago, and I remember those first few minutes in the morning being the worst. After using this blend nightly, the tissue around the spur softened, and within weeks, the pain that once greeted me each dawn began to fade. It takes patience, yes, but it works. And for those who've carried that kind of pain for years, even a few weeks of improvement can feel like a gift. Then there's chest congestion and respiratory issues, bronchitis, asthma, chronic colds. Garlic is a known decongestant, and when used in this blend and applied to the chest, it helps break up mucus, soothe inflammation, and open up the lungs. One woman I know used this during a terrible winter cold. She told me that within hours of her first application, her chest felt lighter. By the third night, her coughing had eased, and she could finally sleep soundly again. Sinus issues are another hidden burden many people quietly endure. Pressure headaches, chronic stuffiness, infections that come back again and again. A smaller compress with this blend, gently placed across the forehead or cheekbones, can do wonders. It's not invasive, it doesn't dry you out, it just works, and it does so gently, clearing pathways and calming inflamed tissues without harsh chemicals. Digestive discomfort is something many older adults struggle with as well. Constipation, bloating, that heavy sluggish feeling that just won't go away. Castor oil has a long history as a digestive aid, but instead of taking it internally, applying it directly over the abdomen offers a gentler approach. A retired nurse told me that after just a few nights using this method, she no longer dreaded eating. Her digestion felt smoother, and she began to feel like her body was finally working with her again, not against her. For women, fibroids and cysts can be a deeply personal and painful issue. I met a young woman who had been living with a uterine fibroid for years. Surgery felt like the only option until she tried this compress over her lower abdomen every night for 5 months. She paired it with natural hormonal support, and not only did the fibroid shrink by half, but her pain eased, her cycle normalized, and her sense of vitality returned. These results weren't instant, but they were real. Skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis can feel just as disruptive as joint pain. The itchiness, the flaking, the embarrassment. Castor oil is deeply moisturizing and calming, and garlic, used carefully in small amounts, can help reduce the inflammation and infection that often comes with flare-ups. I always recommend starting gently, especially on sensitive skin, but the potential for relief here is incredible. Hemorrhoids are one of those topics people don't often talk about, but they affect so many, especially as we age. This blend, when frozen into a small, soft form and applied gently, brings fast, lasting relief. Castor oil soothes and reduces swelling. Garlic calms the irritation. The cold offers immediate comfort. It's a solution that works, even for something as delicate as this. We can't forget liver and gallbladder issues. When this compress is applied to the upper right side of the abdomen, just under the rib cage, it supports these organs in doing what they do best: filtering, detoxing, balancing. Paired with hydration and a healthy diet, many people have reported improvement in symptoms related to gallstones or sluggish liver function. Even kidney support is possible. Placing the compress on the lower back, where the kidneys rest, can help ease the ache that comes with stones or general congestion. Again, the key is consistency. Night after night, this blend quietly does its work, supporting your body's natural detox pathways in a way that's soothing, not stressful. You may not find all of these issues in your own life, but chances are you know someone who's carrying one of them. This blend isn't just about healing symptoms, it's about reclaiming the little joys, getting up from a chair without wincing, breathing deeply, sleeping through the night, or simply feeling like yourself again. Healing doesn't have to be loud or fast. Sometimes it begins with two simple ingredients and a quiet belief that your body still remembers how to get better. By now, you've seen just how powerful this simple blend of castor oil and garlic can be. But like any remedy, especially one that works with the body in such a deep and direct way, it's important to use it wisely. Healing isn't just about what you use, it's also about how you use it. And I want you to feel confident, safe, and fully supported as you take these first steps. First and foremost, never apply raw garlic directly onto your skin. Garlic is potent, beautifully so, but it can burn when undiluted, especially in sensitive areas. That's why we always mix it with castor oil and apply it with a cloth barrier in between. If your skin is particularly sensitive or you're applying the blend near tender areas like the chest or inner thighs, you can even strain the garlic out of the oil before using the compress. You'll still get many of the benefits, just in a gentler way. Always test the blend first. Before applying it to a larger area or wearing it overnight, try it on the inside of your forearm for 15 to 20 minutes. Watch for any redness, itching, or discomfort. Most people tolerate it well, but every body is unique, and tuning into yours is part of the healing journey. Don't ingest the castor oil unless under medical supervision. Yes, it's been used for constipation for generations, but it can be harsh when taken internally. For our purposes, we're using it externally, where it's equally, if not more, effective without any risk of digestive upset. Because castor oil is thick and sticky, protect your clothing and bedding before you lie down with your compress. Use an old towel, plastic wrap, or a designated set of clothes or pajamas you don't mind getting oily. Many people keep a compress kit by their bedside, just a small bag with the cloth, wrap, and towel ready to go each night. And finally, listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, pause, take a break, try again with less garlic, or just apply plain castor oil until your skin adjusts. Healing is not about pushing through discomfort. It's about building trust with your body step by step. Used with care, this blend becomes more than just a home remedy. It becomes a ritual, a way of saying to yourself, I still believe in my body's ability to get better. And that belief, more than anything, is where true healing begins. Healing is rarely just about the body. Yes, pain shows up in joints, in muscles, in breath and movement, but its weight rests somewhere deeper too. It touches the heart. It chips away at our sense of peace, at our confidence, at the quiet joy of simply existing in our own skin. And when we talk about remedies like castor oil and garlic, we're not just talking about easing discomfort. We're talking about reclaiming something that pain tried to take away. For many people, chronic pain doesn't scream. It whispers. It tells you not to reach, not to stretch, not to dream too big. It makes everyday tasks feel heavier. It drains not only your energy, but also your hope. Over time, it can convince you that feeling good, truly good, is a thing of the past, that your best days are behind you, that this is just how life is now. But I'm here to remind you, that's not the truth. You still have the capacity to feel better, not perfect, not 20 years old again, but better, more mobile, more comfortable, more at peace in your own body. And that possibility, that hope, is just as important as any compress or oil or blend. Because the truth is, healing begins the moment we believe it's still possible. One of the most powerful things I've witnessed on this journey isn't just people reporting less pain. It's the look on their faces when they realize they have options, that there's still something they can do. I remember Louise, the retired teacher I mentioned earlier. When she called to say she had gone for a walk without holding her lower back, her voice wasn't just joyful, it was alive. She didn't just feel better physically, she felt stronger, more herself. That is the beauty of natural healing. It reminds us that our bodies, even after years of wear and worry, still respond to care, still respond to kindness. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too old, too late, or too far gone. You are a living, breathing being capable of change, of renewal, of small miracles made possible by consistency, gentleness, and belief. So when you prepare your next compress, don't just see it as a task. See it as a love letter to yourself, a quiet promise. I still believe in my healing. Because sometimes what makes the greatest difference isn't what you put on your skin, it's what you say to yourself as you do it. And that belief, that whisper of self-trust, is often the first real medicine we need.